What's up? It's Saturday. We're out here. We're gonna do a little pro right here next to the whoop, whoop. Gonna start a few little projects. Of course, well, I say start. So I'm kind of figuring out a lot of the time. Not wasted. A lot that takes up a lot of time is getting all the equipment out and everything. So we're going to do a little bit of clearing today. I got the equipment out yesterday, and of course, I started before I thought about, like, oh, I'm going to film this and everything. So anyway, I came out blasting. I started it. So we have the equipment. Let me see. We're going to be down there. Down there. Let's get over there. I'll kind of fill you in on what's going on. But yeah, this morning, I've got all my stuff. It's like, hey, let me go in. Oh, I forgot my gloves. Let me come back out. Go back in. Oh, I forgot my hearing protection that just fell on the floor. Oh, I have to go back in. I forgot my water. Oh, I forgot my, so anyway, been a little bit of a cluster getting everything together. But, we're at the job site. We just pulled up on the job site. Let's see what we got. Okay, so here's what happened. Let me flip you around. We'll show you where we're at. Side of the carport, down here. I kind of already cleared this little area right here. Here's the tools we're using. So we've got the DR Horton stump grinder. I don't know if I told y'all this story about the stump grinders, but down in the blue one down there, I have a big one. And it was one I bought online without looking. One time I went to rent a brush hog from Home Depot, and the dude, I asked him, hey, do y'all have stump grinders? And he's like, yeah, man, we got these little ones. And he's like, man, I wouldn't recommend anything, bigger than like 3 inches, So that put it in my head that these little guys weren't very good. So when I was looking online, I found that one. It was a Macmax SG380, and it had this guy right here has like a 10 or 11 inch disc. I did want the ones that use the lugs like that you can replace. So short of it is, I saw the Macmax. It had a 15 inch head, and it had like 12 teeth, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the one, and it does like 3 foot diameter trees, and it has a swivel. It has like a little pivot point back there that you can unlock, and the chassis swivels. The wheels will stay there and the chassis swivels. A little bad machine. I bought that, and then whole ordeal picking it up from the warehouse. Tried to fit it in the back of the farm truck. It was just a little too big, so I had to rent a trailer. And then we got it all here, and it's massive. It's like 360 pounds. It is literally should be self-propelled, and the problem is it's too big. I'm not gonna lie. I know I got some guns and all that, but I can't move that fucking thing around. So we got this guy. The lineup, we got the DR wood chipper. This was given to me by a very awesome person, very, very good buddy. And this guy, man, when I got it, it was super loud. And I'm like, man, that doesn't seem right. I was watching videos on the YouTube and theirs were all quiet. So I took this part off, and there's a flywheel in there, and the bolt was loose. So I tightened that up. Man, that thing, it took it down like 800 decibels. And it's a lot more quieter now. Then it had sat up for a while, and the carburetor was gummed. It worked for a little bit, and then one day I took it out and wouldn't start. We rebuilt the carb on that, and man, that thing, it's running like a champ right now. That thing's a beast. Lineup is my FS91 steel handlebar with the chainsaw blade. Of course, we got a tank of gas, and then did I leave that out or did I put it up? Then we have, okay, yes, yeah, please, yeah, the Stihl GTA 26. So you may laugh, it may look cheesy, but that thing's awesome. So I have my regular chainsaw here as well, but that little guy, you know, it's just, you pick it up and you can run through the woods with that. It'll cut big enough to fit in the wood chipper. That thing will cut, you know, good 3-4 inch trees, no problem. So this guy right here, this is where the shelter is gonna have to go. I had my dirt contractor guy come out that I'm interviewing a bunch of dirt contractors, and I have had a few come out and do work, and I'm just not super impressed, man. It's like a guy who owns a skid, who knows how to drive a skid steer, and you know, I'm happy with the work I've gotten for the price that was charged and all that, but I just need somebody that has that extra know-how, the eye for things, and the detail cleanup and all that good stuff. So I talked to a guy from Frontier Landworks, Dylan. Seems like a really awesome dude. He says all the right things, so we're going to give him a shot. But anyway, I had him come out to kind of evaluate this and some other little ideas. So up here, I may look into putting a generator, like a whole house generator, which needs a propane pad, all that, propane tank pad and all that. So talking to him about that. While he was out here, I said, hey dude, you know, the problem with going behind the house was the people who do the shelters, they only have a little mini excavator to dig, and then they set it in place with the truck. Showed you pictures of all that on the last video. So the dilemma was they didn't want to put it back there because they couldn't get their truck back there. So I asked Dylan, I was like, hey dude, can your excavator that you would be bringing out here be able to lift that shelter? And he's like, oh yeah, I mean, I'll get it back there, you know. Man, I started getting excited because I'm like, well, what I'll do, I'll hire them both, get them both out here at the same day. Another thing about putting it back behind the house was the shelter company, this dirt is clay and iron ore. It's really rocky, so they didn't want to backfill the shelter with that kind of soil. They're worried about the rocks, so they wanted me to get extra soil for them to backfill. So another dilemma with putting it behind the house is I wouldn't be able to get the dirt back there. So he said that's not that big of a deal, but you know, if you put the dirt way over here, we're hauling that back and forth with the mini excavator with a 3-foot bucket. It's going to take a lot of time. So again, I thought if I could have Dylan show up, Dylan could also transport the dirt to them. That way it would speed up that process. So I got excited about that. I was like, man, I'm going to be able to put it behind the house. And then I called the shelter people, asked them, hey, would you be willing to work with my contractor, my dirt contractor? And guy was like, man, let me think about it. Man, he's like, that's never worked out well for us in the past. No. He's like, I'm worried about your warranty. If, I don't know how they operate, how good they are, if he picks it up with the excavator and it dings it, or, et cetera. And then he finally was like, you know what? No, we're, liability reasons, warranty reasons, we're going to have to say no. So that kind of bursted my bubble. Marcia also wasn't excited about having to pay extra money to have another contractor. And I get that. She's right, but at the end of the day, I'm the kind of guy, I want what I want, and I'll make it happen, a little bit extra cost to get it where I wanted and all that. So at the end of the day, let me flip you around here. At the end of the day, this shelter is going to end up here. So this little area I wanted to clean up anyway to give me access from here to the back of the house, so I could drive the mule up there. This will be clear to give us a better, easier, faster access maybe to the shelter once it's done. It's going to clear out a little spot if I want to do a generator up by the pole, some propane tanks, and all that good stuff. So I brought all the equipment down last night, yesterday, and me came out blazing, went ahead and started clearing and didn't get any film. So we're gonna start on that right now. What we got? Let me see if I got my little gizmo. I think I might be able to get y'all some action shots. I've got a GoPro, and I need to figure out how to use that, so that I can like set it up and get action shots, because I'm doing everything on my phone, and it's kind of eating up my memory in my phone, which, even though I've got like a 64 gig or whatever, I mean, it's taking up quite a bit of space. But I may have to start deleting the videos after I upload them or something like that, because I'll have them on YouTube. But what I'm trying to get to is I got this little guy that Marcia's mom gave me. So it's a little octopus arm suction cup that, these little guys bend. So I think I'm going to try to set that up somewhere here, right, and what we're going to film, I can't see. I will film, I want to clear out around this little pole right here, the electric pole, which, ooh, that's another one. So let me back it out. Back it up. Beep, 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 beep. So this guy, I put in a ticket request because, man, I don't know if y'all can see it, but man, that little wire right there, it wasn't even, it was way, even when I put this container there, that was further up. So I think what's happening, and this guy over here is starting to get really tight. And I think what's happening is this pole, that's vertical. And I think that pole's leaning and it's starting to sag over here and tighten up over there. So I've got a service ticket in on that. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out this little area around here, a couple little trees. The process I'm doing, I'll go in there with the big stuff, kind of get my little, my steel chainsaw, cut those down. I'll leave a little stub so that I know where that little tree is, so that I can come back and then use the stump grinder and kind of grind it down. I could cut it off at the ground, but what I don't want to do is cut it flush and then I lose it, because I'll go in there and clear and then it's like, okay, where was it? So I'm going to clear this little area. I'm going to go in with my little chainsaw first, clear the little big trees. I say little big trees, you know, big enough, small enough for me to chip and, you know, that kind of thing. And then I'll come in and clean up, you know, with the weed eater and the stump grinder. So let me see if I can get us set up. And I think when the camera is this way, everything is backwards. My buddy Jacob noticed that on one of the videos. He's like, man, is it me or is that mirroring? So I don't know if I want it facing, I don't know which camera I'm going to use. So let me do some situating and figure that out, and we'll go from there. So let me get it set up. I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay, so I think we're set up. Got my sweatband looking all like Rambo. Got my hearing protection. Let's see. Got my gloves, got my water jug, got my steel. We gonna get at it. throw them in the pile, and I'll see if I can mulch those up with the tree. So also that weed eater with the chainsaw blade, it'll take down a good 3 or 4 inch tree. I prefer to keep it to the smaller guys. Let's get our little DR stump grinder. We'll grind a couple of stumps, and then I think what I'll do is I'll end this one and kind of give you a, we may go back up to the top, because I think I'm in a good spot down here with what I want done. Let it warm up a little bit. I forgot you gotta hold the See, even though I left a little stub, I already lost where it was.
Here, who you talking to?
And I'm just trying to get it below the dirt. Let me see if I can get this guy off. Oh. So again, I'm not trying to get fancy with it, you know, I'm just trying to get it below below the dirt. But like I said, man, you'll lose them stumps pretty quick. So oh, hold on. That's all cut. I just need to drag it out. And I think this little guy will be clear. And then oh, go. Are y'all? Oh, good Lord. Safety first. See, that's why y'all should wear your fall protection. I don't know what y'all got going on, but I ain't got no workers' comp. Y'all don't be filing no claims on me. But y'all seriously, y'all okay? Okay. So on that note, I think that's a good place to maybe call this one, and I'll maybe show you some up top, and we'll kind of go from there. Or I may just show you an after picture. Okay, I'm gonna get it. Okay, so I think we'll wrap this one up for today. So it's later in the afternoon. I went back a little further, took out a few pines up there. To take a break. We had to go help do some stuff at her mother's, and so I did kind of go back and look at the videos. I wanted to say, like, when I was feeding this wood chipper, it looks like I'm like jamming in, which yes and no. So when you start with the big big raw end at the base, man, that it like wants to pull it in. So it'll pull it in and like, oh, bog down. So I'm actually holding it back at the beginning. But what happens is, as you get more toward the top where the foliage is, and you have the branches kind of coming off the side, you'll normally have two. You'll have the trunk in the middle, and then you'll have a little branch. So what happens is, as you're feeding that in, those branches have to fold up to get in the chute, and at the more toward the end you get, the more branches you get that are folding up, and you have to kind of jam them in there. You have to force those branches to fold up, and then as you get to the top where the foliage is, you're having to like jam it in there to fold the branches up, and it starts getting clogged up with a lot of foliage. So it's like you got to kind of pull the foliage out, feed it in, and then depending on how many branches are at the top, you have to kind of pull that wad out and then like feed little individuals. So it looks like I'm kind of jamming it in there. It looks like I've got my hand in there, and I don't. I'm well out of the chute. It's just, but we're going to wrap this one up for today. I noticed my videos are, this one's probably going to be 40 minutes. I don't know. I don't know why. I guess I talk too much, but after I had dropped the phone and all that good stuff, that didn't come across well on the video, I noticed either, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in. But we'll wrap this one up. I may do another one tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see, because I would like y'all to see the end progress and all that good stuff up there. Yeah, I'll kind of play that by ear, but we'll definitely let's call it a day. What do you guys think? Guys and gals. I don't know. I don't know who's watching my videos. Probably nobody, but I do. I enjoy them. But we'll wrap it up today. Start kind of boozing it up. And I'll give y'all a little teaser sneak peek. I don't know if you can see it. We'll zoom in a little bit. Little teaser sneak peek. You can see some little orange pegs out there, but I got that all laid out today too. But okay, man, as always, I appreciate y'all and hope y'all enjoy them. I enjoy making them. I'm gonna try to do better. I keep saying that, but one of these days I may actually follow through. All right, we're gonna go.